Trust is invisible, something you don't see, don't touch, but you feel the moment it disappears. And at Aquatica, that disappearance hasn't been sudden. It's been slow, quiet, and then all at once. You sense it the moment you walk in. The tension, the hesitation. Guests looking around like they're waiting for something to go wrong. This isn't paranoia. It's recognition. It's what happens when people have watched the same failures repeat all season long. And once trust cracks, everything follows. Guests stop trusting staff. Staff stop trusting management. Management stops trusting the system. And the system stops trusting itself. We've watched it firsthand. Simple moments turning into stress spikes. Lifeguards hoping crowds will listen instead of enforcing rules. Authority shrinking while the crowd fills the vacuum. Broken machines left untouched. Overwhelmed employees avoiding eye contact. Guests rewriting the rules because no one is enforcing them. That's when a park stops running on control and starts running on momentum. And momentum doesn't care about safety. Wave pools shut down with no explanation. Guests yelling at staff who have no answers. Employees debating whose job it is to help a lost kid. Small failures becoming big failures because trust has evaporated. But this episode isn't about blaming Aquatica. It's about understanding the collapse, how trust erodes, how environments mutate, and how people adapt when the rules stop mattering. If trust is the crack, episode 4 is the aftermath. This is the Mind War Podcast. This is the Aquatica Files, and this is episode 3.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. I'm Badger. This is Grandmaster, and we're back with episode 3 in our Aquatica Files series. This episode's about the collapse of trust, when the system stops believing in itself. And Grandmaster, I've loved diving into this Aquatica series. We've still got, after this one, 3 more episodes, but it's interesting to see the little intricacies as we dive into this, at little things that Aquatica could change that would make such a big difference.
Yeah, and they're aligned with SeaWorld, and SeaWorld has that drink situation under control.
To a point.
Yeah, you don't have that same madness.
Insane how
and the line bumping
efficiency
and the craziness. I don't understand that, but when we think of trust, it isn't an invisible currency, really, if you think about it, of any environment, anywhere you go.
True.
If you don't see it, you don't touch it, but everything depends on trust.
Yep.
And once it starts to crack, everything else follows. I mean, once a crack of trust is there, forget it.
Right. And Aquatica didn't crack it, fracture, because trust isn't lost in a single moment. It erodes slowly, quietly, and then all at once, guests stop trusting staff stop trusting management stops trusting system, and the system stops trusting itself.
Well, you know, when you walk in, if you can remember the times we've been so much this summer, you can feel the tension and the hesitation as soon as you walk in. The way people look around like they're waiting for something to go wrong. They're waiting for someone to sit in their chair. They're waiting for someone to take their little jacket. And, you know, that's not paranoia, in my opinion. That's a pattern of recognition. They're used to seeing.
We briefly mentioned it on the last episode, but the last time that we were there, we were standing in line. In case you missed the last episode, go back and watch it. It's pretty cool. We're standing in line. Our brother that had to go to the bathroom joined us late. We were standing in line. The people behind us had an issue with it.
Automatically was a problem until we explained it to them.
And the stress level increased tenfold in 2 seconds of our brother walking up.
And
you could feel it.
And we were literally, we had one set of people in front of us and we were all in.
And it's not like our one brother that walked up was going to cause these people to not get into Aquatica or to miss a ride or to miss a show.
To let them get in front of us.
But it's that whole initial tension and hesitation and fear that just puts everybody on edge. And patterns are everywhere. Broken machines, overwhelmed employees, crowds moving like they are in charge, guests arguing with staff over rules that used to be clear as day. It's not chaos, it's a loss of faith.
Yeah, and I think it's the staff breakdown because, they're the first line of defense.
Right.
And they're the first to feel the collapse. They know stuff's going sour.
Yes.
Or sowy. They know things are going bad way, right? So when you're understaffed, undertrained, and overexposed to conflict, you stop believing you can control anything. After a while, all you get used to is just, I'm watching these kids in the water to make sure nothing else happens. Anything else happens, I'm just going to call the police.
Right.
And that's not how you handle situations.
No.
In a park environment. So go ahead.
And again, once the staff stop believing, the guests sense it instantly. Humans are predators of weakness. We know this. Not in a malicious way,
Just the way it is.
in a survival way. If the authority figure looks unsure, the crowd fills that vacuum.
Well, we remember the situation. We watched a water safety person, lifeguard, try to break up a dispute over the tube things.
Right.
And the two families are screaming at each other, and the lifeguard steps up or whatever, and you can see it in the person's eyes. They're not very confident. They're like demure, and they're hoping that maybe they'll listen. And if you're hoping, hope is not a strategy.
No. And
You want to be going over the clear design. Okay, enough. Both these stop. Give me the tube, or you're out the park.
plain and simple.
Rules.
Yep.
Set the standard.
Yep.
They're not doing that.
And those two families, they didn't listen. They escalated. And the lifeguard, of course, backed up because he didn't care. But because he didn't trust the system to back him up, no security nearby, no supervisor stepping in, no protocol that actually works under pressure.
What ended up happening is that other people stepped in, bystanders, and broke them up. And what people don't realize, there's alcohol being sold in this place.
Yeah.
And whenever you have alcohol in a place like this, tempers can have issues. People can get mad because the alcohol becomes part of the problem. And the crowd realizes this after a while. And the rules only exist if someone enforces them.
Right.
And unfortunately, all we've ever seen enforced at Aquatica are when the cops show up.
That's it.
It's like, so you don't have, I've seen security, what we call Paul Blarts, walking around. They're not doing anything. And when the cops the actual police have to come into Aquatica, after they're already there.
They are.
Because there's nothing set in stone. How do you argue over a stupid raft? Or
like there's not 250 million more right behind it. That's what kills me.
Step in line, wait your turn.
So let's talk about the guests. Because once they sense the system is weak, they start rewriting the rules themselves.
Yeah.
We've seen it. Cutting in line, saving chairs with towels for hours. Now let's just address this before I go to the next point. You and I have been quite a few times this season. We go in, we know exactly where we're going, we know where we're gonna sit on our chairs, the whole nine. Here's the difference in you and I. We don't leave the chairs unattended.
No, because we have other people with us. Someone's always at the chairs.
Right. But people have become comfortable, think that they can go put their stuff on chairs, and then when somebody moves it or somebody gets into it, then they want to throw their hands up and go, "That's my chair. Why'd you touch my stuff?"
Yeah.
Well, you kind of left it unattended for multiple hours on end, and you're not using it, so I am.
And then who's the bad guy here?
Right. So after saving chairs with towels for hours on end, then they start ignoring the staff instructions, taking just one more tube. It's not rebellion. It's an adaptation. It's the story of the world that we live in today. Adapt or die.
Well, and to be fair, people don't usually misbehave because they're bad.
No.
They misbehave because the environment tells them they can. It's just the way it is. And Aquatica's environment is practically begging them to misbehave.
Yes.
Run, jump over onto this thing, They don't even put age limits on some of these rides, the little kiddie rides, and there's older people in there doing it.
Yep.
And I'm not talking about the parents of the little kids out there. It's so.
And then you get the ripple effect, of course. One person breaks a rule, another sees it, another copies it. Before long, it's not a violation. It's the new normal.
And, the reason it collapses is because people just give you the shrug. Like when we said, hey, they're stealing drinks. And the person just goes, well, there's nothing I can do.
Right.
They're cutting in line. It's nothing I can do. What?
Yeah. So let's break down the system itself.
Well, the system's already broke down.
The system itself is the final piece, because once the staff and guests lose trust, the infrastructure follows. Policies stop working, procedures become suggestions, safety becomes optional.
Well, then the park starts running on momentum instead of control. That's the most dangerous state of any environment can be in, because momentum doesn't care about safety. It cares about order. It just keeps moving until someone or something stops it. So let me give you an example. The wave pool, the last 2 times we were there, didn't operate. And we're out there in the middle of the thing. It's just fun to be in it. It's deep.
Just a huge
You get swim. Yeah, it's nice, right? It's got shallow, it's got deep end. It's really neat. The ambiance is nice. The way it looks, it's really cool. And then people were getting pissed and screaming at the lifeguards or whatever they are, the water safety team, sitting up in their perches. Why no wave? Like as if they control the waves.
Right.
That's another part of the breakdown of communication. Someone needs to tell these people, stop yelling at our team members. They're not for you to yell at them. If I was a team member, first time you start screaming, I'm like, that's one, stop screaming at me, talk to me. F you, but all right, this guy, get on the right, he needs to go.
Yep.
That's how it needs to happen.
And until they get to that point, they'll continue to have problems like this.
Of course.
At Aquatica, nothing was stopping it. Not management, not security, not communication. The system was coasting. And coasting is the prelude to collapse.
Well, it's the small things, man. Like a soda machine sitting there and it's not fixed. It's not working. There's no ice, but it has wasps and bees flying all around it. And for the last hour, we watched it and sat there looking at it. Just by happenstance, we happened to be sitting near it, and nobody came to fix it.
Yeah.
Then there's a ride entrance where where no one's there to make sure that the right sizes of people are going on this ride. And, then there's a lost child wandering around. And I heard employees arguing about, it's not my job to find. So they ended up calling the police.
Yeah.
It's not your job. You got an Aquatica sign. If you got a badge that says Aquatica, that is your job. That's my opinion.
I agree.
You
But small failures become big failures when trust is gone.
But what's the definition of trust? What is your expectation going to, I'm asking you, Badger, going to Aquatica, what would be your expectation for your first trip there?
Well, first of all, you've got to have friendly staff,
Of course.
helpful staff, and knowledgeable staff.
Okay. So hang on. So when you go to Aquatica, do you find that all the time?
No,
All right. But when you went to SeaWorld,
it was overwhelming. I literally, my youngest son and I were walking. I've got a bad back, so I don't walk super fast.
Right.
And I probably had a confused look on my face because I wasn't exactly sure where we were going. There was a SeaWorld person coming across the bridge. We made eye contact. I didn't say anything out, like across the bridge. As she got closer, she looked at us and said, "Y'all need help with something?"
see?
I about fell off the bridge.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'm not 100% sure I'm going in the right way. And she said, "Where are you going, sir?" So I told her, and she said, "Yeah, absolutely. Go down here. Once you get to this point, you're going to make a right, and it'll be on your left." Is there anything else I can help you with? Tim Bears, when I tell you I was floored, because this was on Father's Day. It's not like it was empty and there was nobody. It wasn't jam-packed. We weren't shoulder to shoulder, but it was packed. There was a full house. She walked up to me.
Now, I could understand some of the Aquatica staff members in their bathing suits, lifeguards, male and female, maybe not wanting to talk to guests because they probably get creepies or sketchy people trying to flirt with them and talk to them. I get that, right? That can be a little annoying or unnerving,
Sure.
or uncomfortable. 100% get that. But when you see someone that's impossible in a situation where they might be lost or they come to you and they ask you for some help, the ones that we've asked, they've been quite accommodating the best that they can. I'm sorry, sir, that's all I can do. I mean, but at least they talk to us. But I can understand in Aquatica because the young men and women that are working there are maybe are sometimes harassed, maybe by some of the guests. Again, that's loss of control because the guests should not be in there harassing them, right? But we don't know that that's happening, but that's only I can assume it's happening because that's why some of them will walk right by a bunch of people and they're asking them questions they won't even answer. They just keep walking. So the only thing I can think of is they don't want to have nothing to do with customers or guests. Their job is water safety, that's it. If you're not in their water, they don't care.
Right.
Right?
Well, and I'll even go a step further. For what you and I actually call lifeguards, if you're in your bathing suit and you're working, guests shouldn't be allowed to talk to you.
You should leave you alone.
But
unless you're in that ride or in that area that they're supervising, then they should be able to talk to you, or you should talk to them. But otherwise, you shouldn't be going up to them.
right
Leave them alone.
now, the polo wearing water management
Team leaders,
they should be the ones engaging the customers.
they don't even look at customers.
No, they look the other way.
They do.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's scary.
Yeah.
So episode 3 is simple. Aquatica didn't fail because of crime or crowds. It fell because trust evaporated. And once trust is gone, everything else becomes a domino.
When we say fail, or fall, we don't mean it collapse and it's no good.
Right.
You shouldn't go there. Basically, putting this out so that people understand when they actually make a trip to Aquatica, which I encourage and emphasize it's a great place to go. In fact, we'll be going the next day or so again, but I just think it's important that you don't go in there blindly thinking that it's going to be like maybe Disney or SeaWorld or Busch Gardens, where the people are happy to see you and are happy to deal with you, because I can tell you, unless they're working at the bar and you're getting the alcohol from them, they would rather not even see you.
Yeah,
or talk to you.
I agree.
So again, I'm Grandmaster. Always remember to be kind, even when you're in a situation that maybe dictates you shouldn't. Doesn't mean you can't stand up for yourself and say how you feel, but at the end of the day, try to take into consideration situation.
And in episode 4, we're going to go deeper, because if trust is the collapse, then episode 4 is the aftermath. The behavior mutations that happen when people realize the rules don't really matter anymore.
Well, then when humans stop believing in the system or the rules, they start believing in their own rules or on themselves, and that's when things get unpredictable.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Grandmaster. I'm Badger. We thank you for watching the Mind War podcast and the Aquatica Files. Make sure you tune in to episode 4. It's going to be a good one.